Have you thought about promoting cryptocurrency?
You look at Magnificent Seven, right? All the one that has AI into it, skyrocket. But Apple and Tesla is like disappointment on these two companies. What's your take on this?
No, no, basically, how much are you earning? Like, what's the breakdown like that?
Welcome back to another episode of the Backholder Pod. So today we have a very special guest with us. He's actually Ziet from Ziet Invest. So he actually runs a very successful YouTube channel in the Malaysia finance space. So I think he's actually good friends with Kelvin, and Kelvin has actually extended the invitation to him getting on board into this today's episode. So I think before we get into the nitty gritty and maybe capo a little bit about his current investment and maybe even his business, I think just want to have a quick introduction to Ziet, and I believe he has some important announcement recently. So Ziet, how have you been doing recently?
No, thank you, Jiking, so much for the introduction. That's a pretty good one. Now, thank you so much, guys, for having me in this Backholder podcast. Thank you, Kelvin, because I was talking to Kelvin for quite a long time already, and I believe in Singapore, I think in the content creator space, I've been talking to Darren, been filming a few episodes with him as well. So yeah, today it was a nice, I think, occasion to connect with you all. And to all the Singaporean audience you all have out there, hello. Hope you guys are having a good day. I'm Ziet from Malaysia. I run a YouTube channel called Ziet Invest, where I predominantly help people to start getting invested. We do contents like finance, investment, money, entrepreneurship, a little bit here and there, but mainly is to spread financial literacy and also to help people start invested predominantly in the US stock market. And also at the tail end, I think Chiking threw a curveball to me. Yes, I'm expected to, not expected, I'm getting married this year. So this is a big year. We are moving into a new office for the business, for the channel. And at the same time, getting married. So a lot of stuff's going on. Yeah.
That I believe you actually proposed overseas, right? It was not in Malaysia. Did she have any inklings about it happening soon, or was it really a surprise?
I would say 80% surprise, 20% expected already, because like we've been dating for close to 7 years already. So we more or less know if it's not this year, it will be next year. As in, if it's not 2023, it will be 2024. So yes, I did propose in Disneyland, Japan, Tokyo Disneyland. So I mean, she's a huge fan of Disneyland and Disney characters lah. Honestly, for me, I think I probably understand like 5% of the entire thing. So I'm just following around, bringing her around, and it's like a fairy tale for her. But to me, like, I don't understand a lot of things over there. But yeah, the preparation was actually pretty simple. All I did was travel, usual stuff. But I did commission a Airbnb cameraman, photographer from Tokyo, based in Tokyo. Yeah, the Airbnb photographer just followed us around. And we had a very minimal interaction so that she wouldn't find out that I was planning all of this. But yeah, I mean, she had an inkling that I was going to do something over in Japan. But yeah, that entire thing was a surprise, to say the least.
So she accepted.
Well, I guess it was a mutual thing. We knew that we were going to do it anyway. So it's just a procedure that, just to fulfill a girl's dream. Yeah, of course she accepted, bro.
I think I just wanted to also understand, right? Like before, so there's a pre-YouTube and post-YouTube era, right? So right before YouTube, I believe you actually made a video quite some time ago, but maybe just to share a little bit on what were you doing previously before you turned into content creator full-time.
Yeah, for sure. I'm actually a mechanical engineering graduate. I graduated and then started working for my scholarship company, which is YTL Power. So that company is actually a IPP, independent power producer, basically making power plants, right? So there's technical and also the commercial department, and my company let us give us the option to choose either one. So I chose the fancier commercial department. So that involves things like financial modeling, company research, market research, things like that, and acquisitions, and this kind of stuff. And then at the tail end of the of my employment, I also got seconded into our venture capital department. So I had the opportunity to join my bosses in developing and also getting the license of one of the digital bank license in Malaysia. So it's under the YTL C-Money license, which is Shopee in this case. So I guess how did I started content creation, right? I think, yeah, from engineering towards finance and then towards content creation. I guess the first thing that triggered was most likely because like my friends was asking me like, how do you read like company reports? How do you read annual reports? This kind of stuff. So I was teaching a few of my friends, and then because my friends knew I know, then my friends started to ask. So there's like 3, 4, 5 people started asking. So it just steamrolled from there. And then content creation just started from there. And I've always wanted to do things like that. It's just that I don't know how to do. Because and very initially, right, I thought of doing like gaming, streaming, this kind of stuff. Because I was pretty good at gaming, but I knew I didn't have the flair and the personality and to make jokes and humor on webcam or whatever, right? So I paused that thought, and then COVID hit. Then I think had a lot of time to like ponder and wonder what I wanted to do lah. So that's how the content creation started lah, and just evolved over time lah. Yeah.
Actually, how big is your team right now? Because I've seen you have been hiring a lot of people.
If to say full-time members, there's like 1, 2, 3, and me. So 4. Incoming another one in the next 2 months. So probably 5. Yeah. And then obviously we have contractors and online part-timers lah. So that can go up to like 12 people in total, 12, 13, I remember lah. But freelancers are mostly piecemeals lah. Either writing script, providing graphic design, providing certain services like ads management, this kind of stuff. But predominantly 4 to 5 people in the office lah. And yeah, we're moving into office this month.
That's impressive.
I know lah. I think I'm in a privileged situation where I was a little bit early into doing content creation after Mr. Money TV and a few others. And actually there are a few other content creators, but they quit subsequently. I guess you guys already know who I'm talking about. And then I stuck through because I really enjoy what I'm doing, and I really like firmly believe fundamentally in what I'm doing, which is not just financial literacy, but I really believe that for a Malaysian context, it doesn't make sense to invest our money in Malaysian ringgit or any Malaysian denominated kind of financial product. So US was like a no-brainer, the largest financial market in the world, right? And sad to say, like Singapore and Malaysia, if you just put it side by side, the general level of financial literacy is like, I hate to say it, 1 day, 1 night difference, a day and night difference lah. Therein, I think it's set at on one end, it's quite sad, but on the other end, it's great business opportunity, and also it's a very green field. And I think it's also a privileged situation where I can help a lot of people get started with their financial investment journey lah. So that's where I am right now lah.
Actually, that's going to change because like Mumu just came into Malaysia last week. So that's what happened to Singapore. I think that was in 2020. So once Mumu is here, all the rest of the brokers will start coming in. So that's another big, huge growth for you already.
No, of course, I totally agree with that. But 4 years ago, in 2020, it is almost unheard of to even think about US stock or anything related to foreign stock trading or foreign market stock trading. In Malaysia, it's very typical one. I hate to say it, but it's all property investment, if not Bursa Malaysia. Then if not, you are just down towards the drain with insurance investment scheme, unit trust, and some mutual funds lah. So it's very typical, and I wanted to break that norm. So I guess with social media, we had the opportunity to do that through influence, through the internet. We are able to educate the public on what's there to think about, what are the other possible opportunities out there that all of us are missing. So those are like step by step, really understand what's demographics, and then really understand that actually a lot of people don't even know. And one fun way of one very simple litmus test or like barometer that I always tell my team member, right, is like, how do we know whether we are advancing, or how do we know that we still got a lot of work to do when it comes to spreading financial literacy? Very simple one. If I go to any restaurant and no one recognizes me, therein I can tell you the entire restaurant, they don't even know about US stock market at all. I don't want to be, not that I want the attention, but it's very simple. In Malaysia, if you were to remotely type anything about US stock or investment or brokerage, right, it's hard to, it's not hard to, it's hard to miss me. It's not to say that I did a very good job, but because we place ourselves in such a position that SEO wise, we are quite friendly, and we try to do everything that is right from every single angle. But obviously, we are not perfect, and there's like 99 other road to 99 other ways to reach out to people, but we probably did like 20 things right, but there's another 79 things to do. So to me, easily across the street, 100 people, 99 probably don't even know what is the S&P 500. So that to me is opportunity, business opportunity, but at the same time, a huge opportunity to spread financial education.
Can I also understand a little bit on like personally for your own journey, right? How did you came into content to US stocks? So like you said, right, the overall financial or general financial literacy is not as good. So how did you personally went or discover the whole process yourself?
So I started getting in touch with investment because my job is a lot of to do with company research and stock market, understanding what's happening, not in the stock market, but more understanding about company financial metrics. And my ex-supervisor told me, Ziet, if you don't buy stocks, if you don't invest in stocks, right, you will never understand fully what is P ratio, what is EBITDA, what is company valuation, this kind of stuff. So Darren and I started in Bursa and started investing, blindly, left and right, dividend stocks and bank stocks, right? Typical in Malaysia. So back then I was paying about, I guess, 25 Ringgit per trade in the Bursa, whereas people are paying at 8 Ringgit per trade in Bursa, Malaysia. Then I'm asking my friend, my colleagues back then in Mama, how come you pay 8 Ringgit but I'm paying 25 Ringgit brokerage fee one? So then I realized, actually I went for Maybank Investment Bank, which is the one with the full suite retailers, remisers kind of service one. Whereas my friend went for like a very retail, the cheapest package one. Then I realized, actually a lot of people don't know about this stuff. So that's how I first got into contact with brokerage stuff and realized actually a lot of people on a Lawyer forum also didn't know about this. And a lot of people have been like quoting this guy. This guy has been telling, stop paying 25 Ringgit, just pay 8 Ringgit. Then that's how I got into brokerage and Bursa Malaysia stuff. Then sooner or later, that thing just evolved. I wanted to invest in a better financial market historically, US market. I mean, no brainer, right? I mean, there's a lot of first world countries that we can look out there. But US, historically, there's so much data. YouTube also is an influence, and also information is abundance everywhere. So slowly into US stock market, and then realized I started to do with my local bank to trade US market. So per trade, it costs like $25 with Maybank. And that's like extraordinarily high, right? And back then there was very minimal. When you say like stockbroker, right? You got people like eToro, a little bit Weibo, but that's about it. So there's not really any platform that are quote unquote regulated or that can give us confidence when it comes to the US stock market or should I say providing brokerage services to trade in the foreign market. So that's how I ended up finding that particular niche and realized a lot of people are actually wanted to invest in the US market, but they just don't know how to do it safely and cheaply.
I think you are quite famous in Malaysia because you are providing all these tutorials to onboard on this like IPKR, now with Mumu, all these brokerage, right? Aside from all these brokerage related contents, right, is there any other focus that you think is big that you need to, like get it out for your audience to make sure that they up their financial literacy?
A lot, actually, a lot. There are things like, to put it very simply, I mean, your yardstick to know what content works and what is the most impactful one. Economic policies, definitely. That's like a no-brainer that you will get views and you will get the most impact. It will trigger people. Your thumbnail and title definitely will trigger people. Then you will also trigger people to engage with your content, comment, discuss. I guess a lot of Malaysians love those kind of content, and that's also honestly one of the ways to get people talking and thinking about politics, economics. Of course, that's one way. And then what I realized that personal finance, it's already people are growing past that already. So that's more like a brown field, right? Not really a green field. If you ask me which one would bring greater impact and financial literacy, spreading the awareness, definitely economics and policies. But it's not an easy thing to do. It's not like you go and read like few pages and then read few interviews and podcasts, then you can easily talk about it. Because again, because of what I'm doing, honestly, I don't want to cross the line when it comes to stocks in Malaysia. That's why until today, I don't do a single thing that touches Bursa Malaysia stocks. Because I don't want to have anything to do with local regulators. I just want to do my US stock and, leave me alone. That's where I am right now. So I'm trading left and right 80% of the time is looking at investing in the US stock market, but 20% of the time, I still touch a little bit about economic policies. Obviously, it's not the most sexiest topic. For all of us, maybe it's interesting for economics and policies, but for 99% of the audience out there, they rather just watch people getting divorced or talking about people's back. So it is what it is, right? Yeah.
The economic policy you're referring to the global US one, right? And macro.
No.
Macro
Malaysia
coverage.
one.
Oh, Malaysia.
Malaysia's
Okay.
one. Malaysia's policies.
Oh, that was
Usually people okay. So I understand that people maybe in Singapore will probably care more about Singaporean politics and also maybe US financial monetary policy. By Malaysia, no one can give a two hoot about US financial monetary policy. I can guarantee you that maybe out of 100 people, one person that invests, they will care about what the Fed is doing. 99% will just care what is the interest rate in Malaysia and how's their loans gonna be like, and where can I maybe trade in crypto or which property should I buy? That's the only questions people ask over here. It's quite sad, but it is what it is. And our content, as you can see, which one gets more views? Not just mine. Just look at all other industry. Which one gets more views? Entertainment or education? I guess the answer is pretty self-explanatory, and the content in the demographic is just a reflection of the people and the consumer, I guess.
Do you like have an opinion about the COVID times, right? You remember when the Malaysia government actually allowed the people to draw from their, what do you call it? CPF kind
CPF,
of.
your CPF, correct.
Yeah. So did you think that was a good move?
Honestly, I don't really care. You know what? If you were to withdraw like that, I think that time they allow you to withdraw about 10,000 ringgit. Obviously, to certain people it's helpful. To certain people it's honestly it's quite stupid. But again, if we were to have this conversation, we would probably think from the perspective of the top 10-20% of the population. But for the remaining 80% of the population, they need that money to to survive. Then it makes a lot of sense. But from our content creation, our demographic, we don't really know and talk to the remaining 80%, the B40s, we call it, the lower income level one. So it could be a very good thing for those people. But for the remaining 20%, maybe it's a bad thing because we started having bad financial habits, like splurging around, spending on stuff. But if you say all in all, is that a lot? A lot is a lot of money, but then it's, in a way, it's not much money also. Typically in our CPF, it's like 5.5% kind of dividend per year. Yeah. Eric, yeah.
From that is from the point of view of like the people, right? But from the point of view, like, because just now you were saying that talk about the monetary policies and all that, I thought that during the COVID, if the government had a little bit more resources, they won't have had to come to this extreme, like using the people's money, like, oh, you take your own money out, supposed to use for your own retirement, and now you use it. So I don't know, because my point of view is from Singaporean side, right? I'm looking at it like, oh, okay, so I see our government, they take out from the reserve. Then I thought, okay, maybe Malaysia government can also take out from their reserve, but they didn't. They just said, oh, you take out from your own, EPF, right? So that's why I was wondering, like, doesn't seem like a very good idea.
If you compound it financially for all of us that are financially literate, right? It's definitely a stupid thing, because if you compound it 5.5% a year for the next 30-40%, it's 10,000 could be worth 200-300,000 down the road. So definitely it's a stupid decision. But for those people struggling to survive, right, they don't really care about the next 3 years or so. They just care about where can I pay my bills and feed my 6 kids over the next three weeks or 3 months. That's really what they care about. So definitely, if you ask me, percentages and statistically, it's a bad move. But Malaysia have a very bad track record of just pasting and fixing things temporarily for the short term. It is what it is. It's part and parcel of, I guess, a third world country, a developing nation. It's not an advanced nation by no means, right? It's still very far from there. So things are bound to bad decisions are bound to happen. One, because you need to do it for the votes, hate to say it, the populist move. And two, you can't risk because a lot of even if you're in your term 3 to 5 years, you're not gonna fix a lot of stuff in the short term. You still got politics to finish, and then you still got economic stuff to worry about. So all they can do to make sure that they get the populist vote for the next term, in the next 3 to 4 years, is just to do short-term solutions that will please every single person out there.
Yeah.
Can I just maybe circle back towards the finance side, right? You say you're more interested in promoting like investment in the US side, right? Have you thought about promoting cryptocurrency by any chance?
No, that's fine. I think that's a really good question, and I guess it's only timely and right for me to explain it. Personally, I'm against crypto. I don't believe in it. Yes, you might hit 65,000, 69,000 per Bitcoin. I guess that's the argument always, like it can go 80K, 100K, I don't give a shit, honestly. There's so many assets that we can invest in: property, crypto, alternative stocks, funds, and whatever. Crypto is just one of many assets out there that may or may not make money. Why am I against it, right? I think fundamentally, it's quite a stupid answer, but I guess fundamentally, if the government were to just trip a circuit breaker, whether or not to regulate or ban the trading of it, or don't support it, if you look at it from the government's point of view, it disrupts their monetary system. There is no way they're gonna allow that to happen, because with the unregulated and decentralized finance, it means that you are technically allowing criminal stuff to happen, money laundering, this kind of stuff to happen. So I think at the near term, 5 to 10 years, there is no way this thing, it may be legalized, but there is no way this thing can bring much of a value other than being like a piece of asset that fluctuates in terms of the asset price. I know Crypto Bro is going to hate me on this one, but again, like, it's one of 20 assets out there. You can miss on this being skyrocketed, and you can miss on shitcoin being skyrocketed. It's fine. We just do whatever we want, right? If you're happy with 15% return, that's fine. Who says that you can't go for 15%? Or some people are happy with 4% bond return, also can, not wrong one. So that's my stance against crypto.
Actually, Ziet, can I check how old are you this year?
Wow, because my answer sounds very dinosaur.
No, I just wanted to check how old are you this year.
I'm 29.
29. So interestingly, out of the panel of 5 here, right, the two youngest investor or trader actually don't touch crypto at all. I think just to give you some context. So it's quite interesting or counterintuitive, right? Because you always thought that people younger that are more interested. But I think just to pivot away, right? So in terms of your own current portfolio allocation, I presume that mostly are in equities, and maybe you have a certain position in fixed income. Is that the current allocation?
No, it's fully in equities, and I have a property. You would say investment portfolio-wise, it's fully equities. I don't invest in property, but I do own property. That's all.
Okay, understand. So Bunti, I think Bunti did some research on your equity. Maybe I'll pass the time over to Bunti.
Not really research. I just kepo on the Instagram site. So I saw that it's one of the fairly recent posts, right? October 2023. You show that your allocation, I think it's not that different compared to maybe like 1 year or 1 year each ago, whereby you still have Tesla as your dominant positions, 70%. The rest is like Apple 16%.
I feel very threatened here. Everyone is bullish on Tesla, but okay. Bunti?
Yeah. Just for your information, only Chicken don't have Tesla positions. The rest of us here have Tesla.
He's a Baba King, that's why he cannot.
Yeah, so let's start from Tesla, right? Because we have seen that the price, like shoot up, and then last year I think the return was very good, and then started from this year. I mean, year to date basis is like lag compared to the other Magnificent Seven now. So what's your take now? Any update on these positions? What was your outlook on the company?
I think two parts of the question. One is my look on my portfolio, and second, my look on the Tesla, right? So my look on my portfolio is the same. All I do, it was like DCA into Apple and Tesla, whichever makes more sense, Technically, honestly, I think both have great potential. Apple being the stable backbone of not just my portfolio, but also the bedrock for pension funds and a lot of investment portfolio in the US. So that to me, and also because I'm a massive Apple user and fan as well. So I kind of, it's easier for me to research about Apple and talk about it. And that's why, Apple is one of my position. My look on Tesla, honestly, the way I look at it, I think if not mistaken, the price of Tesla at today's point of view, probably less than half of it, not half of it is valued based on its car business. The rest of it is probably hinges on like FSD, software, this kind of and technology stuff. Obviously, if you were to let's look at it valuation-wise, you probably shouldn't invest based on its share price. Because half the valuation, like I said again, it depends on very things that are intangible that you can't really measure today. What's the impact of FSD? What's the impact of the battery energy storage, right? I myself, I come from power generating company. And I see the trend moving towards green energy quite significantly. Companies are making huge moves, and Tesla appears to be one of the forefront. Besides Chinese companies, there's like a lot of Chinese solar companies. Obviously, it's very hard to fight that one. But Tesla being the one that deploys a lot of all this kind of stuff, and also the way they hire people, the way they look at AI, this kind of stuff, I think they are really far advanced in forward. To me, it's like asking which is the company that is the quickest when it comes to turning around, when it comes to making decisions, who is more agile, who hires talents, the top talents in the world, top lawyers, top engineers. I guess engineers will probably pick Tesla over a lot of other companies when it comes to choosing a career path. So that ultimately talents would usually end up being a talent plus good management plus agile management usually will lead to good things on the way I look at it. Because I invest for the long term, so I don't really care too much about this short term price tag.
But let's say looking forward, right? You look at the Magnificent Seven, right? All the one that has AI into it, right? Say for example, like Nvidia, Meta, these are the AI one, all skyrocket, right? But Apple and Tesla is like, is there AI in their products? You can argue yes or no, but so there's some disappointment on these two companies at the moment. What's your take on this on the AI part?
No, that's a fair question. I think to look back at it, right? What is AI? Right? AI is artificial intelligence, and how does AI operate? The bloodline of AI is data. So which company has the most data on people? Let's say if it's software, it's probably Apple. If not, maybe Amazon on the e-commerce side, maybe Microsoft on the B2B side, but Azure side. But in terms of retail wise, Apple has the full suite of data everyone needs. It's at the palm of everyone's hand. Well, maybe not everyone, but 60% of the users are using iPhone out there. So that's a lot of data to fit into AI. And the fact that they are not actually pushing in AI or any talking things that remotely close to AI, right? Which I think they just recently did with their M3 MacBook Air release. It's actually like AI centric. They started to using that language already, because all these they have been using machine learning ML. They never use AI one. So for that context, I think that's actually quite bullish for a big company to finally starting to hop on the trend. And we know Apple is always late to the trend one. For a lot of things, Apple is always late. But what I can, historically, what I can tell is that they usually do things right from the get-go. Even with Apple Vision Pro, right, it does look stupid with its price tag today, $3.5K US for something so ugly and 2 hours battery life, tagged with a power bank beside your head, right? It's quite stupid, but honestly, people are missing the point. They are king of marketing. They are the king of marketing, and they know how to market themselves. They purposely put it at 3.5K, so next time it cuts down to 3.2, 2.5, you will see it as a cheaper product and it's more advanced. And in today's context, even with Apple Vision Pro, it's not a product to sell today. It's a product to sell towards developers and also people to work towards it. It's not for a retail product at this point of time. So can they incorporate AI stuff into it? I say, why not? Why can't you have a Google Glass, not Google Glass, have a goggle that can have I don't know, what is Apple's AI version of ChatGPT on the right-hand side and things that, all this AR, VR stuff, it's easier to, speculate what it is today. But honestly, I don't have the answer how it will look like in the glasses or how Apple will transform AI into its business. But yeah, it is what it is, right?
Actually, Apple have been, I think it was last week, they put their car team over to AI. So we should be seeing something pretty soon. But I'm going to ask you, right? So right now you only have 2 stocks in your portfolio. Why not add in something like 3?
4.
Oh, 4? What's the other 2?
Tesla, Apple, Google, Amazon.
Oh, so why not
it's very typical, honestly, other than the fact that it's very heavily skewed towards Tesla and Apple, right? Yeah. I think it's a very typical portfolio. There's nothing to shout about, how creative I am, or whatever it is. Yeah.
But you still don't have Nvidia.
I don't.
Well, so my question is why not add ETF like Triple Q instead, where you can get better diversification? Is there something against that?
Philosophically, it makes a lot of sense, Kelvin. I think it makes a lot of sense to put in the Triple Q instead. In fact, that is something that I've been thinking about for quite a long time to shift everything towards Triple Q or S&P 500. But then that raises 2 questions, right? One, do you live when Tesla or whatever big tech companies like Mac 7, Tesla and Apple is underperforming? Then if I leave, that means, well, am I reacting emotionally because Tesla's share price is lackluster compared to Mac 7, Nvidia and Meta and Microsoft? That is probably a yes answer. 2 is it doesn't make sense for me to, because I'm a content creator, first of all, at this moment, career-wise, it really doesn't make sense for me to just do index and, talk about index all the time. At some point in time, I still need to get myself dirty, my feet dirty in the stock market and research and stuff. So I guess it makes a lot of sense to like still keep putting my faith and also my belief in what I trusted in earlier. Yes, valuation-wise, it may not be the best thing at today's point of view. They may have earnings misses, delivery misses, China sales missing stuff here and there. But again, right, if you believe in a company that is moving very fast in terms of management and hiring talents, right, I don't see why they can't climb back.
Can I come back to the Apple Vision Pro? Just want to slot in one more question because I have debated with Chicken when the Vision Pro came out, right? I was like, oh, looking at the tag, all these things were so fancy. Then I was debating with Chicken. I was saying that Apple, although they are late, right, but they usually come in and then they will take over this space. So similar to what they did with Apple Watch and so on. And then Chicken just, shoot back at me and say, have you ever used Vision Pro before? You haven't used it before. How do you know it is good? So have you used Meta Quest before?
No, I have not.
You have not. But what's your opinion comparing these two products, the one by Meta versus Apple?
To preface, and I think Chicken made a very good point. We never tried the product ourselves. I never tried the product myself. So Chicken is correct in that sense. But to me, so how can I tell whether a product is good or bad, right? Well, obviously, other than the fancy YouTube videos that we watch out there, I think a very good barometer is to watch tech dinosaurs or people at the elderly age use the product. And in fact, I've done so by watching a lot of videos, watching CNBC reporters that are 40, 50 years old, those that don't really believe in Tesla valuation, these kind of people, right? They are very averse on this kind of a hype one. So when they put on the Apple Vision Pro and they tested it beside the Meta Quest Pro, Meta Quest 3, I can't remember what they call it. It was like $600 for Meta one versus $3.5K for Apple Vision Pro one. The most profounding thing that he said, right, as a tech dinosaur, he said that the scariest thing about Apple Vision Pro is not about using it, it's not about its function, right? It's about suddenly you take off, you feel like life is so dull, life is not as vibrant. And to me, it's like one of the very huge thing, because back then, if you're talking about EV, where got people believe in EV one? You have to believe in its battery tech and it's like unproven tech against ICE. That is like the same moment. So how would you like even invest in EV back then in 2015 when people are so skeptical about hydrogen cars, so skeptical about battery powered car, right? So it's the same. I feel like it's the same feeling over here. It might not be the next iPhone. In fact, I don't think it will be the next iPhone. It might be the next iPad or AirPod. To me, that itself is good enough already. That's like 15% of Apple's today's revenue. And to me, that is large enough in terms of the use cases. But obviously, I think the fact that the price is still very high, we are still very far off towards a very commercialized scale of production for many industries like construction, for pharmaceutical, for medical field. But the potential is there, right? Who else is going to match up to their level today and 3 years to come? In terms of who will be the winner next time, usually it's like who have the best management and who have the most money today. Apple is cash rich. There's no way they can't just acquire and train people and work towards a tech very fast. That's my take.
Can I ask, have you drive Tesla car before? Like now you
I never drove.
Oh, never drove. You plan to buy one
before.
Oh, same one before.
That was with Darren, right?
With Darren, correct. I plan to buy one, but not anytime soon because it doesn't make sense for me. My office there don't have charger. My condo don't have charger. Have to request. But then again, I'm a tenant and I'm not staying here 2 years later. Then for my house next time, which will be done later part next year. So I will consider one. But at this moment, I'm happy with my IC at the moment. And even, I don't know about Singapore's infrastructure, but in Malaysia, right, honestly, right, it's still quite scarce to find chargers. Even in malls, right, this is what I can tell you. I go to Mid Valley almost every other week. Mid Valley is the largest mall in Malaysia, no cap. Even with the largest mall, right, usually you find like 4 to 6 spots. It's always occupied one. It's very thin one. If you pass by, even as ICE driver, you see there's like BYD, then you got like Tesla also, then you got the BMW and Mercedes EV units as well. So every time it's always occupied one. So I myself, I know I'm the kind of person that will be anxious when battery gets below 60%. I really hate to see battery go below 60% mark one. So I know it sounds stupid that I'm such a huge Tesla investor, but then again, I don't find it very feasible for my use case in today's point of view. because office don't have charger, condo don't have charger, then it's very hard for me.
It's okay. It will worth it if you buy one and use it for your content, you know. That's what Kelvin planned to do at some point before, right, Kelvin?
I mean,
Now
Kevin
no
can
more
just
lah,
buy
no
every
more.
single model.
Please, I'm not Darren.
Actually, just to throw back the question, right, like for Kelvin's point of view, right, how would Tesla fit into your routine? Obviously, I think you don't drive much of a car, if I'm not mistaken, but does it fit well in your use case? Your condo can charge well or not? Area you go can charge well or not? Just curious, like from your point of
So
view.
infrastructure-wise, the Singapore government has been expanding it quite well. Like downstairs, not condo like the Singapore subsidized house. There's already like 6 charger just installed last month. So they're planning to install a lot more for every estate lah. As to my use case, it won't fit into my use case at all. I don't really drive. Wherever I go, I will just take Grab. If I'm rushing for time lah. Plus the price of a Tesla car, I think it's not cheap in Singapore. I think what 300k? This one I forgot lah. This one I have to ask.
Because of your COB, is it?
COE.
Yeah.
COE.
COE, sorry, COE. Because of COE.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to pay something for that expensive and last for only 10 years. Yeah, it's mainly for bragging rights, which I don't need. But for Malaysia,
it's fine to. I think honestly, I'm on the side when it comes to money management, right? I think it's fine to spoil yourself. Whether you can also make it a content piece material, but at the same time, if you enjoy it, which I don't know if you really enjoy this kind of stuff, materialistic stuff, right? I think it's always fine to splash a little bit.
I think it's not a little bit. It's like half of my net worth. It's more than half of
But
my net
I
worth.
can understand. In Singapore, it's very expensive. In Malaysia, it makes a lot of sense.
Kelvin can take loan. Half your net worth.
I put your name.
Can I just check with you, right? What is your
Yes.
investment thesis for Tesla? Meaning, maybe I put it in another way. When do you think Tesla will start to realize the valuation potential that it has? Like, for example, is it when FSD is realized, or is it when Optimus is realized, or what is your catalyst for this stock specifically?
Personally, I think other than the fact that the car business has to do well, that's prima facie, that's the core and fundamental of the business. I think like what you mentioned, a lot of things today, like even with Optimus and even FSD, we can see it already. Optimus, maybe not so much for Optimus, more on FSD, you can see the use cases, but it's still, I think, very infancy because it's only been done in the Bay Area in the US. Yeah, that's wide release, but a lot of states is still not so usable one. Then if you want to overflow it towards like China, it's probably very hard. You want to overflow it towards Europe, maybe. You want to overflow it towards Asia, smaller markets are still very small. So obviously, in today's term, I can only tell you for FSD to realize that's a big thing. But to me, it's another thing that maybe Tesla can spin off in terms of its AI, in terms of its computing power. How can that spin off into something that can generate huge revenue? For example, maybe in the context of their BESS, their battery energy storage. I think Tesla Energy has been sleeping for quite a while, and probably people have been sleeping on it for quite a bit. So that to me is a huge catalyst that actually I think can bring a lot of value in the next 3 to 5 years in terms of battery energy storage. It's if you ask me back then because I was on the developer side, owner side of a power plant, right? And also in operational side, but more on the developer side. Battery storage was always like a stupid thing to have one. It doesn't make sense. It's too expensive in terms of energy price, in terms of your return. It doesn't make sense to have battery energy storage one. But I think it's more on what are the pressure that people are putting towards clean energy and towards the government policies, right? That will force government to form a lot more green energy policies and this kind of stuff. That to me, it's already happening, right? With all the target and Paris agreement and stuff. In the next 3 to 5 years, there will be more on this kind of stuff. And battery energy storage, because of the demand, it's gonna get cheaper over time. So that in itself is also one of the catalysts and that I'm actually looking forward to. Other than FSD and Optimus, obviously, manufacturing, and I think with the capital that they have, right, they can multiply in a lot of country very fast. So deploying in maybe India is probably the next catalyst that is worth looking at.
Do you have any quick opinion, right, on the opening up of subscription for their superchargers to other car makers? Do you have a quick thought on that?
really, I can't provide much input because I don't drive EV myself. So probably whatever my comment that I'm gonna give you, right, is probably half baked at this point.
Okay. So you know that they have started to open up to all the different Ford lah, GM and all this.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think starting from this year. So there was
In
some
NA, right?
yeah, so there were some commenters they say that this potential will bring in a few 100 billion for Tesla. So I'm just like wondering if you felt that this is a potential good stream of revenue lah.
It's a two-prong, right? Double-edged sword. If you open up, you hurt your current customer base, but at the same time, there's a lot of other charging fee, licensing fee that you can charge. Same goes to FSD, right? To release in Tesla's point of view and keep it within their ecosystem, yes, it's a good thing. But at the same time, if you release it towards other ecosystem as well, then there's a lot of licensing fee. But then therein lies a lot of problem as well. So I don't think there's a straightforward answer today lah. It sounds good, right? For a business to scale, even for every other businesses, right? If you're just making bread itself and sell to your same customer, you are just there. You can't really expand a business. But it's easy to say that you want to sell bread, you want to sell coffee, you want to sell nasi lemak, everything, whether or not you can cater to that and the problem that comes with it, right? It's another cost to deal with. Business-wise, it's a great thing, but whether or not operationally it makes sense to scale at that speed, right? It's a different story lah.
Thanks.
I want to ask you about the decline of the ringgit. Do you think that we will likely see like SGD 1 to RM5 soon? And what are you
1
doing
to RM5?
Not maybe next year, like maybe in the next 10 years. And what are you doing with your money? Are you like keeping it in ringgit or are you converting it elsewhere?
Oh, personally, I've always have a huge part of my net worth in US dollar one. Yeah. Even though, yes, I do not like where the ringgit is heading, which I think will be even worse. 5 ringgit to $1 is very likely, in my point of view lah. I know people hate me for that one. Even Malaysians, a lot of those traditionally thinkers, they hate me. And back then, I made a lot of videos, especially one video that got like, I don't know, not much views also, but 20,000-30,000. But the core essence of the video was I don't believe in the trajectory of the ringgit. And that was $1 to 4.2 ringgit. Look where we are right now. It's 4.7 ringgit already. I'm correct once, but whether or not I will be correct again, I think so. I will be correct again. 5 ringgit is not a dream. It's just a matter of when. And investors are losing confidence in your politics and the things that you're doing. You got your brightest opposition now leaving the government party. Sorry, the brightest guy, his name is Syed Saddiq. You got those youngsters leaving already, and you got so much problems at the top, right? And then GE is coming in the next few years. I don't see it resolving anytime soon, and there are no, in my opinion, it might be a bit hard to say this, but there are not much competency when it comes to managing things at the top. So 1 to 5 ringgit for US dollar, yes. Singapore, I don't know. Honestly, I don't really follow Sing dollar to ringgit, but it's very proportional, very correlated to US dollar one. So it's not far off actually. So it will decline over the time.
So do you advocate parking the savings in another currency instead?
No, because that would involve a lot of conversion, then conversion losses. But I do invest like quite a significant amount. So if I got like huge chunk, I change to US dollar one shot and then just invest in US equity, just leave it over there. So to me, that is already enough to offset a lot of things. But then again, I also need a lot of ringgit for my business, right? So I can't pay US dollar to my contractors. I mean, I can, they would love it, but it makes a lot of sense business-wise to still do it in ringgit and pay things in ringgit. It's more cost-effective and cheaper. If you're asking personally, do I want to keep ringgit? If it makes sense to convert for lower spread, I would do it to US dollar.
I think last time the ringgit, right? If you park in ringgit, you still can get higher interest rate. Let's say if you compare to US or Sing, right? But even that advantage also is gone, at least at the current moment. So if you're comparing the interest rate level versus between this Singapore and Malaysia, I think Singapore is slightly higher. So that's only one reason to keep it in ringgit also gone. So that's why the currency
and the easiest way to like park in a high yield, not just savings account, but higher like money market funds in Malaysia, right? It's also 4 to 4.5%, whereas US short-term treasuries are like 5.5. Yeah, so you see that even our options in ringgit, right, it's only up to 4.5. And then there's limitation to it as well, and there's a limit to it. Not all MMF allow you to put like 200K one. There's a limit to it as well. therein lies a problem. You see that fundamentally, the government is trying to stop the outflow of ringgit as well. Again, like with all this Momo and brokerage coming in, they are just opening doors for ringgit to be weaker. In my opinion, it just means more selling of ringgit to buy US dollar as well. So actually, I'm quite surprised that they are allowing so many brokerage to come in, because in that way, they're disrupting themselves as well. But, I'm just gonna sit and enjoy my piece of the meal and just watch how things unfold. But I'm happy with how things are unfolding with my US dollar, because obviously it's been strengthening over, 10-20% for the past 2-3 years. It's quite crazy, actually.
Yeah, it's a good thing that they allow more competition is always good, right? Like for Singapore, when all these low-cost brokerage came in, they kind of broke the monopoly of all the existing brokerage. Like they were also charging like 20 plus SGD. So times 2 is like 50 just to buy and sell. So when they come, a lot of the brokers have to reinvent themselves. So I guess that's a good thing.
No, definitely.
But
it's a good thing.
The only weird thing is, why is IBKR still not in Malaysia yet?
Right. That's a question I ask every single day. As much as you would ask that question and want IBKR in Malaysia, right? I think I want it more than everyone else. I guess it's a small market, and it's in terms of affluence wise, it's definitely on the lower end. So in the monetary wise and profit wise, I guess it doesn't really make sense much to their portfolio at this moment. Will they come? I mean, it's always a possibility, right? But at this moment, it feels like they're going for the big countries or the advanced nations first, like Singapore, Australia, Canada, these kind of big countries first, with better GDP per capita. Yeah, it is what it is.
Anything else? I thought Kelvin got a few kaypoh questions. Don't know whether
questions.
will answer.
You asked the kaypoh question already lah.
Long story short, Kelvin want to know how much you are currently doing in if you are able to provide a broad spend.
Wow, straight away arrow.
For business, right? You come up with the question, right? No, but I think yeah,
go ahead.
No, and I think in general, it's because I think Kelvin is also in the phase of scaling, so he's also just interested to know, cause all content creators then you guys are building teams and then your overhead, etc. So yeah, he's probably interested in the scale of the model and how to continue scaling, I guess. I don't know whether I'm butchering his intention.
You're putting words in his mouth.
Go ahead.
Yeah, let Kelvin ask himself.
Yeah, can answer.
No, what was the question again? I think Kelvin want to clarify what he wanted to ask, right? Because Chiking has been putting it.
No, basically, how much are you earning? What's the breakdown? This kind of stuff.
Okay. Obviously, it's hard to give a number and say how much I earn, right? But I think in terms of wealth-wise, I'm very happy. I'm rich in the sense that I think I'm rich. Richness is how you define yourself, whether you are rich, because you can be rich at 5,000 ringgit per month. You can also be poor at 50,000 ringgit a month. It depends on how you manage your money and how you define it, right? For me, I'm doing well. The company is doing 7 figures ringgit in annual revenue. So, you can break it down yourself, divided by 12, you can roughly guess where the company stands. Margin-wise is also quite high, but also when margins are high, I try to compress it by investing it back to the business, by buying equipment, getting stuff for the office and stuff. So if you ask me, am I enjoying the ride and doing whatever I'm doing? Yes, but at the same time, I try to not get carried away too quickly. Because sometimes it can be quite scary when there are bad months. Obviously, I think Kelvin can relate to this. There are months where your margin and whatever your revenue just jump down 60-70%. It's possible in this industry. So there are bad months, but there are also good months where suddenly your revenue just double and triple. Then you have a good problem. Obviously, we all love good problems rather than bad problems. If to put a straight number, there's really not an average number. It's always fluctuating one. Good months, I reinvest back to the company. Bad months, I just build the cash buffer. Hopefully, I managed to avoid that question well.
And your business is mainly YouTube at the moment. I remember you have some newsletter in the past. How is it going? Or is there any other area outside of YouTube?
No, I think that's a very good question. At this moment, it's purely, in terms of revenue generating wise, purely it's YouTube and a little bit of social media. So if you just look at it, right, can I make money off YouTube alone? Yes. But why am I creating social media on the side? Why am I doing newsletter, and stuff on the side? It's all part of the package. Complete package as a content creator. Yes, I can just sell videos and create videos and affiliate links and stuff, but the entire media package is more convincing and it's more holistic, and you're less reliant on YouTube alone, YouTube's performance. If YouTube chooses to change the algorithm, it can hurt my company a lot. So having all this secondary route, which might not be the best option, or in terms of the following size is very small, like Telegram only like less than 800, Instagram is 10K, very small, right, compared to YouTube. But then again, it's an investment for the long term. If I can build my newsletter community huge enough, then there's different monetization path. But at this moment, right, I'm just surviving with YouTube affiliate income. And I think a lot of people might not like it, that they will say like, oh, you just survive on affiliate income, and then you are just a sellout content creator. You actually don't make money from investing. They are not wrong, but they are not right either. If I were to monetize my followings at today in Malaysia, especially in the finance and in English niche, right, technically it's quite a huge amount already. I can sell courses for money. I can sell classes for money. I can do seminars every single day to make a lot of money, 4 to 5 digits a single day, also no problem one. Instead, we choose to make financial education free. But of course, we need to survive, right? We need somewhere to have the revenue. So we do it the free path, the freemium model, which is through affiliate income. So something has to go. So that's why I guess if affiliate model, things are not as hard sell, where I have to sell you a course in order to feed my employee for this month. So I'm thankful I don't need to go through that route. But obviously, affiliate income has to be the way to make it free and accessible for everyone.
So is it in the roadmap, like as you scale along, right, as your team gets bigger and bigger, do you think that this freemium model, right, you will maybe add on like maybe courses for those who are more serious, they want a structured way to learn rather than going through all your videos? Sometimes I only want a certain topic presented in a certain sequence. Do you have that kind of options maybe in the foreseeable future?
Down the road, when things scale up, we can still do things for free. Then Darren, you can, let's say you want to do like weekly seminar, it can be sponsored by brokers or financial institutions or whoever that is interested as well. There is still revenue for us, but we can still provide free financial education. I don't have to sit you in a 60 people class to charge you a ticket to make money. I can get sponsored to just stand aside and put their booth, and I still can make money, but at the same time, you still get free education. So it just depends on what is the most reasonable path to scale. At this moment, I don't have the full picture yet, because I'm still building the foundation towards the office. From there onwards, scaling is definitely in my mind, because every single day I'm asking a few questions. How can I make better financial videos? But at the same time, for the business, how can I build my cash buffer, and how can I reinvest my cash buffer? I think every single business owner is asking the same question every single day one. So that's a given. So it's not rocket science. So hopefully I answered that question. Scaling is definitely something that in my mind every single day. That's why we have office. And I guess you will outgrow that office in 1 year. Then we're going to change office, and we're going to branch out. How do we reinvent the wheel when it comes to it? Sometimes it's quite stupid to say you want to reinvent the wheel. Some people say boring business is the most, money-making one. Go and make courses. In fact, the top, richest finance content creators in Malaysia are all selling courses and stuff, which I can. Honestly, it can be done very quickly. One just have to hire people to run the courses and, build up web pages. It's not that hard. We got the money and capital to do that, but we choose not to do that. I choose to nurture talents, and at the same time, more towards the content creation, and which is the slow and stupid path. But to me, it's more sustainable and it compounds over the long term. Because once you start selling courses, your social following starts to die down, but your money is stable. So it's I guess it's an opportunity cost, whether you want growth towards the long term or you want consistency in the short term and long term as well. So it's a two path to choose, honestly. There's no right answer.
If I hear you correctly, I think you're not so inclined towards like the selling cost path. You're more inclined towards like building up your social capital, like building your goodwill in your following subscribers, and then
yes,
more and more people come, you achieve your mission. At the same time, the sponsor will help you to get some form of revenue.
Courses and classes is just one fast way to make money as a finance content creator. But who says next time, if I have a huge social following, I can't make money through energy drinks? I can't make money through
Mr. Beast
rental. Correct. You can't. Why can't I make money from merchandise? I can, Technically, it's one way to do it, right? So there's a lot of other paths to work, or even have venture within investment or angel investing in certain stuff. Then a lot of things can happen. It's quite a flexible model. I think building a personal brand is very important, and you can scale and multiply and change it, and it's very flexible to plug and play into a lot of things. And that's why Logan Paul and KSI can even come up with Prime Energy drink from a vlogger, from a FIFA streamer. They can do things like 1 billion revenue in a year, this kind of thing. So who says I can't do that? They don't have to really sell how to vlog yourself, this kind of classes, man. They can do so many things. Like, why can't we, and with AI developing and this kind of stuff, right, it only gets cheaper for production costs, and also it just opens so many roadmap for us as well.
So thanks, Ziet, for sharing generously. I think you're one of the more sincere guests that there's no, you don't really hedge your statement, and we really appreciate how you came. It's very forefront. We really love your responses, and there was a lot of things that we've managed to learn, at least from our counterparts in the other side, which is Malaysia, that we all visit very frequently. So thanks once again, Ziet, for coming on, and we hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and of course we'll leave the links to all his socials below, and we'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.
Bye. Thanks, guys.